Look at that. Look at that. Finally. Installing some more intricate landscaping around the pool. Can't do that area over there until I get these huge boulders in. I need a crane for that, big crane. So we gotta wait on that. Be able to plant the back side of the wall. So that's cool. Here's a little area over here, down here at the San Diego place, where we grow lots of plants in the back, and here, there, and everywhere. There's a whole bunch of avocados there. Got this area done like a year ago. All these boulders, a whole bunch of beautiful Dudleya, and it's our resident lizards, and beautiful Swiss cheese plant, Monstera, and a whole bunch of beautiful big boulders that we inherited. Some beautiful aloe, aeonium. Look at that next to the tile. Ooh, pretty. Got this really super rare form of Syagris. It is a hybrid between a plant called Syagris flexiosa. I believe it's called flexiosa because it's so flexible. And the queen palm gets a much more fine textured look to it. It doesn't get as big, and it gets a real interesting sort of hairy bark to it right there. And these things are finally starting to come around. And we've got one with a little lean going over the pool, some potted plants. And look at what Blake cooked for himself there. That's Blake's house. You want some good tasty meat cooked up? He's your guy. Okay, we'll let Blake enjoy his meal. So, the reason that we're finally planting all these intricate plants, Rhea.
Yeah.
Do you like a good dog story?
Sure.
Everybody likes a good dog story, right?
Yep.
Let's turn that off, and you can hold the camera, and I'll tell the world a good dog story. Okay. Well, first of all, let's explain what we have here. Come on in close, Ray. Got your black mondograss, Ophiopogonon japonicus nigricans with a few little weeds in here that we need to pick out very carefully. This plant's notorious for getting this little grass in here. You always want to get it out, the whole root and all. And then we have some beautiful native California Dudleya. It's the silver and the black. It's the ultimate raider attack. Then we've got some Aechmea bromeliads in here. That might be Bildbergia, I'm not sure which. A few boulders that we scavenged from around the site. We have what is a really, really beautiful plant. You can really see it against this rocket down here, Rhea. And look at this guy. This is a purple foliaged variety of society garlic, and I'm hoping to propagate this eventually, and hopefully this will fill in. This is the only little bit of it I've ever seen in my life at a nursery, and I almost bought it all. And I went back the next day, and half of it was gone. So I should have bought it the first day. Then we have Crassula over here. It's called Campfire for very obvious reasons. It's the most beautiful red there is. We'll kind of propagate this and move this around. And our feature little mini plant underneath the big Kentia palm is the Lepidosamium proyskiana from Australia. So, let me tell you a good dog story. Dogs and I just don't seem to get along. It all started when I was about 5 years old and I was playing in my neighbor's yard, and I hit a baseball really hard, and it went across the yard and hit this giant German Shepherd right smack in the snout when he was eating at his food bowl, and that's not what you want to do. The previously happy dog that never caused any problems looked at me, growled, and I turned and ran for the fence. I was going for the gate, I almost made it there across the lawn, but then the dog caught up to me, jumped over the back of me, took me down like an antelope in Africa, and just started eating my head like alive. You worry about getting eaten alive? That's what was happening to me. he was all over my head. And I remember, I thought the dog was drooling on me, but it was actually blood. So it was like, you know, when blood comes over your face, it's kind of like, it instantly cools. So it feels cooler than you would think it would be. Anyway, so I was covered in blood, screaming, and the dog was making his sounds that dogs make when they're eating children, whatever those are. My dad happened to be mowing the lawn on the other side of the fence. So he heard the dog eating small child sounds and came around, pulled the dog off just in time. But by then my ear was hanging off. And so if you look at my ears, they're not quite symmetrical. But this ear, or was it this one? One of the two was written up in a medical journal in 1973 or 4 as a miracle of then new plastic surgery. So, you know, everybody says, oh, well, you know, people are afraid to say they have plastic surgery, but I brag about my plastic surgery because my ears look somewhat similar to each other after one hanging off like that. But anyway, fast forward another 30, 40.
What kind of dog was it?
It was a big German Shepherd. And so we'll fast forward about 30, 40 years, 50 years, I don't know, 50 years. No, probably 48. Anyway, got this rental house down here, and I got the house, this beautiful house right here. And you saw where Blake lived over there. That's his little casita. I occupy a structure over there. And this wonderful gentleman who was just retiring from the Navy SEAL program moved in with a couple of roommates, and he wanted a therapy dog. So I can't say no to a Navy SEAL for thanking him for what he did for our country. Even though there's no dogs allowed here, I'm like, okay, you of all people can have a dog. So he made the same promises that everybody else makes, including the person holding the camera when she was little, when she got her dog, that there would never be dog poop visible because you'd pick it up so fast, right? You and your siblings? Mm-hmm. Did that happen?
No.
No, of course not. No, if anybody makes that promise to you that, please let us have a dog, you'll never see dog poop, that's a lie. Anyway, so he gets a nice dog, and then next thing you know, I come down here and there's another person living here that's not supposed to be living here, and they're like, who's that? Well, that's Bruce. Well, whose dog is that? That's Bruce's dog. Second dog on property. Nobody said anything about it. Big husky. So they're like, he'll be gone in 2 weeks, both of them. Come back in 2 weeks, and Bruce is gone, but guess what? The husky's still there. And they're like, well, you know, this dog, Bruce moved into an apartment that doesn't allow dogs. So either you allow this dog, Gary, or he's gonna have to be executed. Therefore, meaning it's on my conscience that the dog gets executed, right? See where this is going? So I'm like, okay, another $100 for the second dog. Mind you, this beautiful garden here is really not conducive to dogs digging, thrashing, eating, chewing, those kind of things. So then I come down again about a month later, and there's a third dog here, and I say, get this dog out of here, a big black pit bull. And then
Dad, what was the first dog?
the first dog was a big, what was he?
Golden
He was
Retriever.
a big golden retriever. He was really red. He was kind of a red golden retriever, beautiful dog. So anyway, third dog comes, nice dog. But I'm like, no dogs. You can't have an unlimited amount of dogs here. This is crazy. So then come back down again. The dog's supposed to be gone. The dog's still there. And this new roommate had come along and said, well, I'm the new roommate. And my dad's dying of cancer. And this is his dog. And we have nowhere to put the dog. No one in the family has a place for the dog. This is the only place. So if we can't let him stay here, guess what? We're going to have to execute him. Which means I make the decision of executing the dog, right? 3 dogs now. Count them. 1, 2, 3. Then, this story gets worse. So, a little later, about a month later, my kids were like, Dad, did you hear the great news? What news? About the dogs. I'm like, are they gone? No, they're having puppies. I'm like, what? Yeah, 8 puppies they had. So we went from being a no dog whatsoever policy property with the most intricate garden ever to having 11 dogs on property within 1 year. And that became hell for the garden and all my plants. And I had to kind of wait it out. They found homes for some of the dogs. Anyway, finally, like 2 years after that, they bought a house and they're moving into a house, maybe a dog-friendly backyard. All the dogs are gone. So guess what Gary gets to do? Look, finally get to plant my garden. So this house, everyone's gonna be for rent very soon, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. About a month or two, we'll get it all totally dialed in. We might rent it to a long-term party. We also might Airbnb the house, short-term rental. And so if it's short-term rental, anyone's welcome to come and stay for a while. Beautiful pool, all kinds of wonderful plants. There used to be a beautiful garden here, but as you can see, the dogs felt that maybe that needed to be thinned out a little bit. And so they did that, and they thinned out a whole bunch of area within their fenced area. And there are still some artifacts laying around. We'll probably find artifacts for years. I don't foresee myself wanting to chew on this, so I'll probably just toss this unless I can find a neighborhood dog. Anyway, that's pretty much the story here. We're gonna plan out this whole area. I've got Rhea helping me, and I'm gonna see if she has any there's more. There's little dog chewables everywhere you look. So any last words, Rhea?
On the garden?
No, whatever. Life, garden, you know.
I'm excited to plant.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's
Right.
already looking cute.
Rhea's gonna spend all summer down here. Rhea is going to be managing the short-term rental, is that right?
Yeah.
So when
That's
these
right.
people have an issue and a problem, they can't get the TV to work or whatever, the microwave, you're the person to call.
Yep,
You're gonna look forward to that?
possibly.
Living in paradise, though.
That's true.
All right. So that's pretty much the story, and I'll leave you with a beautiful shot of the Lepidosmia up against the gorgeous backdrop of the swimming pool right there. How's that for a scene?